your next challenge is entitled Reverse Coding Challenge number 5. Normally you're given explicit directions with how to create a function. Here you must generate your own function to satisfy the relationship between the inputs and outputs. Your task is to create a function that, when fed the inputs below, produce the sample outputs shown. So we've seen this style before. We'll check the notes quick. If you get stuck, see the comments for a hint. Okay, not much help there. Look at the examples. Feel free to pause the video if you like. I wasn't a fan of this challenge because it was less about coding. Most of the work was trying to figure out what they were saying to do here. And so I didn't think about it very long. I went over to the comments and read what they're looking for and then proceeded with the coding portion. If you like these kind of little challenges, and I do too, I enjoy them from time to time, I just wasn't going to spend a lot of time doing it. Again, pause the video and try to decipher that yourself. Alright, so I'll tell you now what they're looking for. Basically, how this works is you take the number input, imagine we created a copy of that value, and then you sorted the digits of the copy. So for 832, you put those in order, it goes 238, right? And then you take the original number and you subtract the copied sorted value from it. 832 minus 238 is 594. Let's try another one. 51 sorted is 15, 1-5. 51 minus 15 is 36. And it proceeds the same way. This third number would go to 7,779, and if you subtract that from this original, you get 198. This is a good edge case right here with just 1. 1 is sorted, it's the only number, so 1 minus 1 is 0. You see that again at the bottom where the input happens to have sorted digits. You subtract it from itself and you're left with 0. And this example goes to 566, and if you subtract that from 665, you should be left with 99. So that's how it works. We'll go over to code now that we know what they're looking for. Definitely pause the video at this point and give this problem an honest effort and come back when you're ready. So for me, the idea is going to be, well here, let's do it like this. Imagine if we had something that could sort the digits of a number. We could say return simply num minus sort digits num, right? That's what we figured out we had to do. So, and a lot of times I'll write it out like this before I even have the helper method defined, and you can make sure that your method is clear, that sort of thing. Make it look the way you want and fill in the details later. Or have someone else do it and you can work on it at the same time. So I'll say private static int sort digits. It'll take an integer and sort the digits for us. And I'm going to use a tested technique we've used already in the past for this. You'll recall that we've either had the input in string form already or we've transformed it into a string. Then we know that strings can be transformed into character arrays with the toChar array method. Then we know that the array class will take an array and perform certain functions on it. More recently, we've seen array.reverse to reverse the order of the array elements. We've also seen in the past array sort, and that's what we'll use here. That's appropriate. And then finally, given a character array, we know we can create a string from it. The string class has an overloaded constructor that takes a character array and makes a string out of it. And then you will also recall the convert class that we've used to go to bytes and integers and strings. We can use that to transform the string into its final form, integer, and then return that. So that's pretty much the strategy here. We'll start by converting n to a string. We know the toString method. At this point we have a string, and so we know there's a toChar array. And then this would represent a char array. Since it's an array, we know we have this array sort method. We can pass it the digits and it will do all the work of sorting them for us. Finally, let's take those sorted digits and make a string out of them. That happens with the statement here. Now we know we had the convert class. We've got to transform this new string to what? To an integer, right? Convert to integer and then return that to meet the method signatures integer specification there. So we'll have to bring in the system namespace, I'm sure, for a couple of these calls. Probably for convert and array sort. And then I think that covers our algorithm, right? We went from string to char array, sort as an array, back to string, back to integer. And then, yeah, with this helper method here, this becomes dead simple. Do that. So we'll give it a run and see if that works. Cool, they all passed. So yeah, a lot of techniques you should have in your tool belt already, or at least they don't look new and scary. Really, the worst part about this problem was figuring out what they were trying to get you to do from those input-output pairs. So I hope you, once you figured that out, you crank this one out. As usual, show me your solutions, hit me up with questions, whatever you like. Otherwise, we'll proceed to the next challenge. Thanks.